Hello, and welcome back to For Book's Sake. I'm Heather Roberts.
I am Veronica Adams, and we are the Under the Weather 1852 media team today.
Wouldn't you know it that Veronica and I both contract a sinus infection in the same week?
1,000 miles apart from each other, but yet here we are.
We live parallel lives in many ways, and this
So
is
true. So true.
But yeah, we're both on antibiotics, and
we both sound like we have monsters in our throat, or that we are hitting the cigarettes way too hard.
Don't make me laugh. Yeah,
the microphone has a mute button, girl.
It does. It's going to get some exercise
for sure
this particular episode. So we apologize if we sniffle in your ear.
Yes, we are temporarily available to record audiobooks like this too.
Yeah, right. If you need. But we wanted to come on here because we had a weird release with the podcast.
Yes, we did.
The agency announcement and all of that.
Yes, which, by the way, current promotions and marketing clients, if you're listening, I've had multiple of you ask, is the agency going to get in the way of our relationship? And of course it's not.
No, absolutely not. This is a new company, separate company, same banner.
Yes.
To make it as clear as possible.
Absolutely. So we have current team members and new team members who are assisting us with this process. And so you will still continue to get our undivided attention in promotions and marketing as well.
Exactly. Yes. We have the marketing firm and we have the literary agency. They're two different things. Yes. You could be a part of both. You could be a part of one. You could be a part of neither. And you could just listen to us here on the podcast.
Which we appreciate, by the way.
Yes, we do. We do love you. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, I am asking that you go and do that because we can eventually monetize our YouTube if we get enough subscribers. We know people are watching and listening over there. Yes. So we'd love if we could get some subscribers as well. That would be fantastic.
But you don't make it to the summit of the mountain in one climb.
That's right.
I guess it depends on the mountain, but
yeah. You good? It's going to be like that.
Employ that mute button.
Mm-hmm. But so today we wanted to talk about, we just wanted to come on here. We were talking about it before the podcast started and we were like, you know what, let's throw out all of our plans and talk about this. So we're going to talk about diversification,
which is
because I don't think we talk about it enough. We've talked about it previously, but in another episode, like as part of a bigger episode,
right?
This needs its whole discussion. If you are not in KU, you need to be on every other platform known to man.
Yes.
Is available.
Yes. The strategies are totally different, right? So KU authors, unfortunately, there may not be a whole lot in this episode for you other than maybe some nuggets you can use for long-term planning if you're thinking about divorcing KU. Mm-hmm. But yes, for those of you who have decided not to be in bed with Amazon exclusively, diversification is absolutely the name of the game. Just doing draft to digital, Amazon, Apple, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, a couple of international market stores.
Google
is insufficient. Yeah.
You need to be everywhere. You need to be on Scribd. Is it Scribd or Scribed?
I have no idea.
I used to call it Scribd because I don't know, that's what my brain did. But then someone
that makes so much sense looking at the logo though, and like the way that because it is SCRIBD. So
then someone called it Scribed, and I was like, oh, that actually makes sort of sense.
Yeah, I've always called it Scribed.
I think it's Scribed. My brain's just special. So
we love you.
Yes, but that's the app we're talking about. That's a great one.
Yeah.
And then they also have their app that they now have for audiobooks and things like that. And audiobooks, oh my God, you can diversify so much with your audiobook. If you own your audiobook, you need to be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally everywhere. Spotify, Storytel. Like, hold on, I wrote down several of them yesterday.
So
Um,
you've got Audible, obviously. You've got Apple. You've got Hoopla. You've got Libro. You've got Storytel. You've got Spotify. I mean, like,
Radish, Kobo
yes,
Plus.
yes.
Yeah, everything.
Hmm.
All the things. Because it really makes a difference. I mean, I was talking to this week, I was it just in my schedule, talk to people, right?
Yeah.
Like all the time. And this week happened to be a heavy client call week because of course it was when I was sick.
It never fails. When
It
you're not
never
feeling
fails.
your best, everybody needs you
Um,
the most.
yeah. So I was talking with one of my clients, and everybody was so sweet. They're like, "Do you want to cancel?" I'm like, "No, no, no. As long as you don't mind me, like, sounding like this, we're good."
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but I was talking with one of them, and they're, pulling in several $100s from per app, per these other,
Yeah.
apps
And they
a
add up. If you're
month.
on multiple apps, it becomes a four-figure stream of income pretty quickly.
Yeah,
And then as it grows, those individual three-figure streams of income that have just become a four-figure stream in total ultimately become four-figure streams on their own. That is a grand total five-figure stream for you the more you grow it.
right. So I just don't. If you're only doing the bare minimum,
Yeah.
that's why you're only seeing the bare minimum
Yep.
results. You need to get out there, and then as you're growing your backlist, you need to be doing, deals, like promotional deals on
Yes.
these other platforms. So, Kobo has their own exclusive
Yes.
promotions
They
tab,
do. They do.
and they're wonderful.
Yeah.
They do well when you run a promotion there. No, I don't recommend you do one unless you have like a backlist right there that other people
Sure.
can, because that's the whole point of a promotion, right? Get them
Yeah,
in.
like if you're a debut and you've just released your first book, you're publishing wide and you are trying to promote your book. Maybe some of those promotional features are not necessarily going to give you the results you're looking for until you have three, five, seven, 10 titles to your name.
Yeah. And so that's something that you need to look at.
Yeah.
Google has a really cool feature that like nobody knows about. Um, I mean, truly, I've talked to many authors. They're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
I can do
you
that.
can. Yeah, you can go in and create your own deals and like your own bundles in
Hmm.
Google.
Yes, you can.
So you can put together your books. Like you could do like a first in series bundle
Yep.
for a specific percentage off,
Hmm.
and all different sort of cool stuff within Google
Yeah.
for their platform.
Hmm.
So it's just really neat that, a lot of people, they think about the Amazon promotions, they think about BookBubs, they don't think about Barnes and Noble deals
Yeah.
or Go deals or Google Play deals or any of the other ones.
Yeah.
But there's so many new apps popping up that
Yes.
are a little bit different too, like Radish,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
go and put your books on Radish.
Serialized fiction. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's the Chapters app
Yes.
for, also get sort of gaming
Hmm.
with your story.
Yeah. Um, Ream stories, of course. Kindle, the Kindle brand in Amazon also has the Vela option too, if you're looking to
Yes.
serialize. Although there are some exclusivity rules there too, because Amazon takes care of Amazon. But after you've been in Vela for a certain period of time, you are allowed to publish elsewhere.
Yes. Well, and they have different programs too of like what you can like, so just look at the rules, right?
Yes.
But it's really fascinating. There's so many more opportunities now to get yourself diversified. Like
Yeah.
before, it was only like those major platforms, like that was it.
Hmm.
And anywhere else, it was like, oh, well, you're not going to make any money. But now you
Right.
can. You
Well,
can
and
actually make real money.
this is just for your digital content. This is just for
Yeah.
ebooks and audiobooks. This says nothing of the ways in which you can diversify print sales. So
Hmm.
you have the ability to offer print copies through a distribution service like Ingram Spark, for example,
Yeah.
and be in print on multiple retailers or at multiple retailers. Um, Direct sales, of course. And then you've got the social media direct sales too, right? TikTok shop.
TikTok shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook shop.
Yeah.
all the different
Etsy.
avenues. Yeah, Etsy. You
Absolutely.
can do so many different things. I mean, not to mention the drop shipping options. So
Yes.
if you have your own direct sales, you don't have to hold an inventory.
No,
You can
you
sign up
don't.
through Book Vault
Hmm.
and have your
Print
books,
on demand.
yeah, and print on demand.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are just so many options that you can do to increase your bottom line. The thing is, a lot of these take time, right? They take
Yeah.
time to manage.
Well,
And
and you have to continue writing and publishing regularly to grow a readership
yeah,
to find the people who are going to buy these books and grow your sales for you. So it isn't just about marketing the backlist after you have one. You do have to continue to create a front list. But as Heather and I were chatting before we started recording, she is working with someone who has successfully grown her monthly numbers, her cash in. I don't know what the bottom line figures are here, but the cash in is growing
yeah.
without new releases because of the diversification that's happening with that particular brand. It's
That was
possible.
she had a strategy. She wanted to go from KU to wide,
Yes.
and she wanted to go all in wide. And I was
Yeah.
like, hell yeah, let's go. And it's been a process, but she's up everywhere.
Yeah.
She has an extensive backlist.
Yes.
Very few things are left in KU, and those are only things that like she couldn't remove for other reasons.
Right.
Um, but yeah, everything is available everywhere. She's
Yes.
constantly adding new apps. Like honestly, I sometimes hear about apps from her because I haven't heard of them.
I love when the clients teach us stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, because
I
it's
mean,
it number one, it's free to us in the sense that like we don't have to go to somebody's class, right, to find
right?
out about it or whatever, but also it's like having little feelers out there in the market for us, right? Like
It
because we have
is.
these relationships and it's impossible for us to try as hard as we might to stay on top of everything. We miss stuff, right? Like I'm notorious for missing book talk drama because
You're doing other.
I'm doing other stuff. If I'm on book talk, it might be an hour or two a week tops. And I'm not always doing it for marketing. Sometimes I'm doing it because I need a new recommendation and I got to find out what the girlies are into right now.
Exactly.
So,
But yeah,
um,
she told me about a new app that she
yeah,
joined, and I went and I checked it out, and I was like, "This is awesome!" And
right.
they were running so many. The thing is, too, if you get in at the ground level of some of these apps,
Yes.
they have amazing, amazing, reward programs
Right. Right. Well,
because
and
their
then the growth.
goal,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I was gonna say their goal is to get users into the app,
Right.
right? They want
Right.
your readers to come into the app. They want
Yes.
users, and they are going to reward you nicely for
Yes.
doing that.
Taking the risk and investing by putting your IP on their app and making it available. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So she was telling me about some of the reward structures that she was getting from this particular
Mhm.
app, and I was like, "Well, that is fan freaking tastic," and
Sounds
it's not
like
going to last
sounds
for.
like Kindle Vella during the pandemic.
Yeah, it sorta.
Nobody was reading in Vella, but the authors who were putting work in Vella were getting awesome bonuses, thousands of dollars in some
Thousands of
cases.
dollars.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, had a little coughing fit. It's still there, so we might,
It's okay.
Sorry, this is so fun.
I know.
But
The fall
yeah,
follies, if you will.
it's beautiful fall outside. I honestly think that that's part of why I got sick. I mean, this is a deviation, but excuse me. The weather dropped here from like
Yes.
75 degrees. Yesterday it was 49 degrees. So
Ooh.
we had a
Ooh.
severe drop in temperature, and literally the entire state of Vermont is sick. So,
Yeah.
um, like, I'm not
It's
kidding.
just harvest season here where I am, and it's been a very dry growing season. So all of the crops that are being harvested are extra dusty. They're covered in extra pollen, they're covered in extra mold and ragweed and everything else. And plus the chemicals that get sprayed on them too get, released into
Yeah,
the air with all that dust. And so being surrounded by agricultural land, I'm just breathing in
that
that
could
like
probably be me too. Yeah.
the The only thing I've done for like the last week, other than running mandatory errands and keeping pre-scheduled commitments outside my house, is literally sit in my house and breathe purified air. Like, and I still sound like this.
And we still sound like that. It's wild. We went out for pho the other night, which was very helpful.
Yes.
That was amazing. Highly recommend.
I'm gonna have to suggest that to my husband later. That sounds perfect.
Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, sorry I deviated. Um,
We're diversifying. We're diversifying the content of the podcast today.
that's right. Our tips to help you get over a cold.
Oh goodness. But
Yeah,
seriously, no. You being on the apps, if there's an opportunity for you to get in on the ground floor, like you were saying, Heather, it's usually worth taking as long as it's a legitimate business deal, and that's something
right.
you have to be kind of wary about, right?
Sure.
Uh,
Sure. You
but
have to
yeah,
vet it out, see, do a little look-see and see what their
yep,
user numbers are and things like that. And,
yeah,
you shouldn't expect anything amazing if it's just, newer, but
yeah,
just knowing that it's happening. But yeah, for some of these more established apps, why aren't you there yet? Why
right,
haven't you uploaded your files there?
yeah,
Yeah, it's going to take some time, but take a Saturday, take a Sunday, block out some time
hmm
and just start getting them up there. Do it little by
yeah.
little. Take an
Like
hour
if
or two at a time.
so, if you're one of those authors who's been publishing and using Draft Digital as your digital distributor, you're not on Google Play unless you're manually putting your books in Google Play after
Right.
D2D does what they do for you. Um, Start there. Like, just start
Yeah.
there. Sit down and get all your books up on Google, and then come up with a plan to do that again with another opportunity next weekend, right? And just keep going until you are literally everywhere you can be, like the client that Heather and I were just talking about before we started recording today.
And it's been great for her. She finally has a new release coming out
Hmm.
and she's everywhere. She's
Yeah.
on every single platform now. So, yeah,
Yeah.
is it sort of like, okay, now your steps for a new release have increased exponentially? Of course they have.
Yes.
But your income stream potential has also increased
That's right.
exponentially.
That's right.
And in the same vein, this new release, now she has all these new readers
Hmm.
that are potentially interested in her
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worthwhile.
For
And she's
sure.
still doing all the traditional stuff. She's still applying for book clubs. She's still,
Yeah.
doing all that sort of stuff,
Hmm.
having first in free, sending out newsletters, doing swaps. That's,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. But you have to get out there and this is not a passive industry.
No. No, you
Um,
can't just put your book up and hope for the best. I mean, you can,
you can,
but
but
that being a successful strategy is you probably have a better chance of winning the lottery or getting struck by lightning or bitten by a shark or
it's a thing of the past.
mauled by
I
a
mean, we were
rabid
look
cow or something.
yeah. We were looking at I was looking at the charts on Amazon
Yeah.
yesterday, for sports romance in the Kindle store specifically.
As you would be doing, because you
As a
do handle a lot of sports romance releases.
Yes. Every single book in the top 100 in sports romance,
KU.
save one, was in KU.
Yeah. Well,
Every single
Amazon's charts are going to reflect books that Amazon prefers, and books Amazon prefers are going to be the ones that they have the exclusive right to
Mhm.
sell you.
And, like, it's always been a majority,
Yeah.
but it was just somewhat shocking to see every single one.
Yeah.
And the one that wasn't in KU was, Icebreaker by Hannah Grace,
Of
which
course.
the only reason it's not in KU anymore is because she got the deal, with the
Yeah.
publisher. So it used to be in KU. So I don't even know if I count that, right?
Well, and don't
Because
forget publishers can have books in KU that are also available for sale wide. They have access to that.
yeah.
So,
But it's just, something to think about. You can't rely on it used to be like, oh, if you spend enough money in ads, if you spend enough,
yeah.
this, you can pop your book up. to the
Yeah.
top 100, at least in your category,
Yeah.
right? Um, that's not how it is anymore.
Depends on the
I don't know.
category you pick.
Right, right. But if you're looking at a bigger category like sports
Mhm.
romance or
Yeah.
contemporary romance, something that's more popular in that regard,
Hmm.
it's just not something that you're going to, unless you have a massive capital, you're not going to pay your way into it.
Yeah. Well, there was some scandal over that at an author conference a year or two ago, where everyone was just so shocked. I say everyone, mid-list and new authors were so shocked to hear what established brands were spending on their ad campaigns for sales, of course, but also for this too, for the visibility, because
Right,
the more money you put in, theoretically, the higher to the top you can rise.
right. So yeah, it's just, if you're in KU, it's
Hmm.
also a jungle in KU, let's be
Oh
honest,
God.
because shooting
Yes.
for visibility in KU is harder than it ever
Yes.
has been.
Yes.
But if you're wide, don't like I'm just saying, don't be frustrated if you're not
Yeah.
seeing the results that you used to see. If you're, not in the charts where you want to be. If the
Right.
money is coming in, and I know this has always been our opinion, correct me if I'm wrong. We care about the bottom line, the dollar number.
Yes.
I don't care about accolades unless they lead to opportunity.
Right.
Um, I don't care about, oh, you got this thing, like lovely. Did that make you any more money? That's
Hmm.
what we want to see. What has the ROI potential?
Right.
What is going to make you more money? If it's not going to make you more money, who cares?
Right.
Truly. So, like, don't stress if you're not hitting the number, like the rank number that you want. If your bottom line number is increasing, that's what we care about.
Hmm.
Um, so, like, I've had several clients raise their prices
Yeah.
over the past year because prices have gone up everywhere. Why are book prices also increasing?
Sure.
Especially in romance. Like, let me get on my high horse here for a second. Like, it's like other genres, they can charge independent authors even 7.99, 8.99, 12.99, 14.99 for books.
7.99 is the standard ebook price
Yeah,
for a mystery and thriller author with whom I collaborate.
right. And that's an independently published author.
Yes.
And people buy it.
Yes.
People don't blink.
Yes.
And yet here we are in romance down in 2.99, 3.99
Uh-huh.
category and like just, begging for our lives over here.
Yeah.
No, no ma'am.
Mystery author charging 3.99 for a collection, an ebook collection of shorts or deleted scenes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But the full novel, 40, 50 chapters, 350 plus words, 7.99.
right.
Always.
So I've encouraged people
Hmm.
to increase their prices at
Yes.
least to 4.99, if not to
Yes.
5.99. Um,
Please.
I had a
Especially
client,
if you're in KU, 5.99,
yeah,
please.
exactly, especially if you're in KU, because here's the thing. In KU, you're going for the page reads anyway, right?
Yes, you are.
So if somebody is going to purchase your book, you want to make it worth your while.
Yep.
You want to encourage those page reads. And it also gives people the perception in KU that they're getting a fantastic
Right.
deal
That their
by reading your
subscription
book.
and giving
Yeah,
you the page reads is a much better value than buying the book outright. Yet you're playing
it's a
psychological games with the
psychological game.
marketing tactic here, but also you are contributing to the rising tide that's going to lift all boats in romance by unit pricing your books somewhere they have real value. You worked hard to write it. What are you giving it away for? Like it's strategically part of a marketing,
Right,
program or strategy.
exactly. So, like, I understand loss leaders, right?
Uh-huh.
There's
Of
marketing
course. Of
reasons,
course.
right?
Yeah.
But for
The
the
occasional free deal in BookBub, which, sort of an evergreen tool too.
yeah. But raise
But
your prices and don't be ashamed of it. Don't
that's right.
don't, stop charging new releases for 2.99
Yeah.
unless there's a reason, unless it's like a
Yeah.
novella. Sure. Okay,
Yep.
fine. I'm all worked up over here.
I know. I know.
But
It's hard not to be though because you watch people in other genres who are charging 9.99 for ebooks.
yeah,
You know, it's the max you can price them to get your 70% royalty from Amazon. And people pay it. The traditional publishers are charging 9.99 for their ebooks.
yeah,
Why aren't indies? I mean, some
exactly.
are, but like
Smart.
outside of romance more than inside of romance.
And that's why, it has to be a gradual shift, right? Like
Of
if
course.
all your books are priced at 2.99, I
Yeah.
wouldn't go and throw them up at 7.99 tomorrow. Like that's
Right.
not going to bode well for you. So you need to have a gradual shift, right? Like start
Sure.
raising by $1, see how it goes,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But several clients have done that and it's increased their bottom line. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been wonderful for them. They're selling the same amount of books that they always were, but they're making more money now.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, wonderful. So, think about these things, diversify as much as you
Hmm.
can. Remember, this is a business.
Yeah.
For many people, this is a hobby, and that's fine. If you want your hobby to make money, listen to some of our advice, um, or think about it like a business. But
Definitely.
if you really want this to be a successful career, you have to think about this in the terms of a business because
Yeah.
that's what you're
For
running.
sure.
You are the CEO of your own publishing house.
Yeah.
So think about it in that way and, diversify your
Yes.
streams of income as much as possible.
Get those books out there as far and wide as you can if you're going to be wide.
Yeah. If you're going to be wide, be wide.
Hmm.
Don't
Like
be wide limited.
really wide. Yeah.
be really wide.
I'm not going to
Uh,
read this side. I'm going to read this side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like what was my favorite phrase? You don't want to half-ass it. You go in with your whole ass.
Yes. You want a full asset.
You want a full ass it. So,
Yeah.
um, but
Oh, good
Veronica and
grief.
we are going to go and drink more hot tea and
Yes.
recover. Hopefully next week will sound much better.
Yes. Thank you
Um,
for sticking with us through
yes.
our ill health.
Yes.
I feel okay. It's just I sound like garbage.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little like I don't have a fever. I'm a little flushed,
Yeah.
but otherwise I'm improving.
Yay.
So there's that. I feel more human today than I have all
Yeah.
week. So
I guess that just means that until next time, this has been for book's sake and also for medicine's sake, for hot tea's sake, for
for don't
fall
people
seasonal
say
allergies turned disaster respiratory infection's sake. I don't know. That doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it?
not as well, but take care of yourself
Yes. Stay
and
well.
stay well, and we'll see you next week.